Fans of the Horus Heresy, the Blackshields Legionis Astartes, and the Raptor Imperialis. Thank you very much for joining me for an unboxing video, and I hope you're all well. Today we are looking at one of the most singularly interesting characters from Horus Heresy, and if you've not already figured this out from the thumbnail, the title, or the introduction, it is none other than Endryd Haar, the Riven Hound. And look at that. What a chunky monkey this guy is. This is a resin miniature for the Horus Heresy, and this model is fairly fresh off the press. It arrived yesterday. I thought we could do an unboxing. Hopefully my voice holds up today, but if it's a little hoarse, it's because I was at Salute 2024 yesterday in London as part of a Titan Owners Club display game. So yes, if I'm a little raspy, that's why. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to unbox this miniature, we're going to take a look at the details, praise the quality, and just generally see what this is about. I don't know about you, but Endryd Haar has become one of my favourite Heresy characters since listening to the Blackshields trilogy by Josh Reynolds. And yeah, Blackshields, great new rules in the Battle for Beta Garmin, where he's just got a new profile with which to lead a Blackshield army in the Age of Darkness game. Right, so enough of a preamble, let's get into the pack. As always, we have a entry device, and today this is a scalpel of vengeance and wrath. No doubt it will penetrate. It might be a bit jagged and messy at the cut, but it'll get the job done. There we go. Thank you, Scalpel of Vengeance and Wrath. So this is the latest of quite a number of Horus Heresy character miniatures that has been released to support Age of Darkness. And we've been getting some absolute treats. And, well, I think this guy's a bit of a special one. Right, starting at the start. Standard fare, we've got a 32mm round plastic base. So even though this guy is an absolute unit, they've still kept him to a 32mm base, which is quite nice, I think. We shall start big with Endryd's torso. And what a big torso this is. We're not going to be able to see this until I've built him and I do the model review, but Endryd is huge, even for an Astartes. And those of you who have listened to the Blackshields trilogy will know why. So let's take a look at some of the details here. So first up, Endryd is wearing a suit of Mark V Heresy armor, and specifically the Mark V production variant for the fans of Astartes plate. And we can see that with characteristic leg cabling, bulky torso cross cabling, and the molecular bonded studded leg armor, and then these truncated triangular shaped knee pads. A couple of detail points here. So we can see that the studs on Endryd's armor are these rather brutal looking rounded off square designs as opposed to the round ones of previous versions. So instantly he's been given a sort of customized, unique look. We have here the first of a number of details on this model which tells us about Endryd's origins and history. And as we'll find out, this sculpt is full of these, and there's some lovely, lovely touches. And the sharp-eyed amongst you will see here what appears to be something of a World Eater officer badge, which is an unusual thing for Blackshield, isn't it? Of course, Endryd was once a World Eater. Lovely details on this, very crisp, very sharp. I bought this model at release. Some cleanup, obviously, with removing the shims and air channels. Tiny little air bubble to fill there, no big issue. A bit of a seam to clean up down the back of his leg, which looks okay and doable. They are sort of getting good at hiding these seams on the back of legs, which I suppose if you're going to have anything happen, it's best place for it. Yeah, this is a really nice model. A bit more cleanup to do there. Yeah, awesome. So that's his torso. I think we should probably do his head next. Now, there you go. There is his head. And this is perhaps, I think it's not perhaps, this is the angriest Astartes face I've ever seen sculpted. He's absolutely furious. And if you've been betrayed by your gene father and then cast out and left to fend for yourself and fighting a shadow war with allies you can barely trust, yeah, I think you'll probably be angry as well. So yeah, an amazing face there. And when we come to the final review, there's some lovely supporting artwork that goes with him in the new book. It also builds on the art from Book 6 Retribution and other tombs, such as a novel artwork. Another lower leg armor piece, again with these square studded bits. Bit of a seam to clean up there, a air bubble on that stud, which isn't ideal. The best way to repair these is using super glue and super glue activator, which actually makes it quite an easy job. You put some high viscosity glue into that, activate it, then just recut it to shape. Best way to deal with that, and I've got a video in my how to modeling techniques on how to do that. And Endryd's face is covered in scars that are stitched together with the crudest of bonds. Right, a power pack. Now, this is interesting. Those of you who watch my Mark V and Mark VI Apothecary unboxing video will remember that I talked about the design of the Mark V Apothecarian's power pack. Now here we have, for the first time in the new range of Heresy miniatures, an unambiguous view of what Mark V backpack will look like. And it's similar to a Mark VI, but with these different sort of power exhaust or vent here. And a couple of extra bits there. And here we have what is presumably the field generator for his Iron Halo. And this is unambiguously the World Eater design. And it shows how Endryd has, while he has adopted a new persona perhaps, or a new allegiance to himself, maybe, he still retains the war gear of the 12th Legion. Lovely, love it. Let's look at some shoulder pads. And we have a left and a right, which put right and left just to confuse everyone. And it worked on me. So on his right shoulder pad, been battle damaged, and you can see these chunks that have been blown out of ceramite plating, as we saw on some of his other armor, and the remains again of a World Eater's icon. And again, the designers are using this to call back to his origins. And then on his left shoulder pad, we have the many small studs design of Mark V, being hit by something hefty like a bolt round there. Missing stud blown out there. And again, these square chunky studs, and I think they use these square ones to make it look more brutal than the round ones do. And I think it works. One thing with the battle damage is if you didn't like it and you've got some modeling putty, you could fill this in and reconstruct the parts to look undamaged. But of course, it's much easier to make a model with the battle damage and then leave it to modelers to modify it if they don't want it, rather than not do it, because adding battle damage is quite a lot harder. Now we're going to move into the world of war gear, and here we have some more nods to Endryd's origins. Now this is his power fist, and it's not any old power fist. This is the terawatt pattern power fist. And for those of you who don't know the terawatt, well, terawatt comes from the Terawatt clan, and they were a unification wars power on Terra. So the fact that Endryd Haar has a terawatt pattern power fist is like, well, where did he get this? Nice. And then we can nicely segue into looking at these accessories. So here are the fingers to go on the fist, and anyone who's read the rules know that this is a heck of a weapon in the game. He's one of the hardest hitting and toughest Space Marine characters in the entire of the Heresy game. We also have this little shield here, and of course it's a black shield, and here it is on the finished model, and of course this is in the blue of the World Eaters. And again, it's another little nod in the design that is telling you about his origins. Endryd Haar is all about origins. And just when you think you know his origins, well, there's another layer behind that. And that brings us on finally to this. And let's talk about this. So there's some Turgis here, or a Turgis tabard. Again, we've got studded strips, damaged, fitting with the rest of his armor. And finally, we have his right arm, and he's carrying a signature weapon, which is an Archaeotech pistol. Now, many have observed that this is a different design to the art from the cover of the Blackshields stories. And of course, you have to remember that whenever an artist draws something, it's their interpretation. In the world of 40k, it is not a definitive statement to say this is what it looks like. And the reason that this design has changed is from when the art was created, designs have moved forward in other parts of the game. And the sharp-eyed amongst you will have noticed the obvious similarities between this weapon's barrel and the Adrathic pattern disintegrators of the Adeptus Custodes. Which of course raises a very interesting question. Where did an Astartes get a custodian weapon from? Answers in the comments, please. One thing I thought, that if you didn't like this weapon, or if you wanted to take it off and say put it on a custodian, which would look cool, or another model, you can still get the Praetor pack. 2-pack of Praetors, one in Cataphractii, one in Artificer armor. And one of those has an Archaeotech pistol, which is very similar to the artwork from the audiobooks. So you could easily do a conversion to swap those if you wanted your Endryd model to look like that artwork. So there are conversion opportunities out there if that's the look you're after. But personally, I rather like this new interpretation because it adds something to the miniature about Endryd's origins. And as I said, Endryd's character is all about hidden origins. So there you go, a look around the Endryd Haar miniature from Forge World for the Horus Heresy Age of Darkness game. What do I think? Well, casting wise, this is very nice to turn out. There's a few bits of cleanup here and there. Overall, it's very good. Details very nice, very clean cast. And then design wise, well, I like the look of the model. I think it's a cool pose. The proportions and size is another hint from the sculptor. It's something to do with Endryd's mysterious origins, and that's why he looks like Nova Space Marine. If you don't know, listen to the Blackshields trilogy. All will be revealed. Yeah, so I'm very happy with this. I've mainly bought him because I like the model. He's a real curio. Yeah, it's just one I wanted to add to my collection. So I hope you found this an interesting and informative unboxing video. As always, please do share your thoughts and observations in the comments section. I'll be interested to hear those. But other than that, I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. I'll speak to you next time, and goodbye.